Where's my article? Here we go. So we talked about this like I don't know, it was last week or the week before. It was probably last week. But Dead or Alive 6 fucked up, and there's been an update to the story. So the devs have come up and apologized for their microtransaction misstep, quote unquote. That's what they always say. It's always a misstep.
Yeah.
So this is from Twinfinite .net by Giuseppe Nelva. A weird name. Recently, Giuseppe sounds like a cheese.
Giuseppe.
Recently,
Giuseppe.
okay, it's a cheese. Recently, Koei Tecmo launched a new form of microtransactions, Dead or Alive 6. We talked about it last week. Basically, you get these tickets. The costume unlocks are permanent, but if you're going to do smaller things like change hair and shit like that, it's not. So you're like renting hair. It includes color and all that shit. So pissed off a lot of people because you weren't even buying stuff at that point. You're like renting cosmetics, which sounds like dystopian level shit, like the extreme bads of greed. Immediately got shit on by the community, and Team Ninja went to Twitter to release a statement basically apologizing, and they called the feature a misstep. This is directly from their Twitter. It says, "Dear fans, we hear and acknowledge your disappointment behind our rollout on the new hair color feature in DOA 6. We greatly appreciate your feedback. We are working towards a solution to help us mitigate this issue, and we'll share our plans in the coming days. We apologize for our misstep, and we're working hard to resolve this situation. We thank you in advance for your patience and hope you continue to enjoy DOA 6. So basically a bunch of PR bullshit. Didn't really...
Misstep isn't a bad word to use, though. And they got in front of it and apologized, which is more than you see Ubisoft or EA do.
In that case, I misunderstood because they just said calling the feature a misstep, but this in their tweet, they straight up say that it's their misstep. So it's not that the feature itself was an accident. It was that they did something stupid and they called that themselves out on it. So that the tweet itself, I'm glad I read because that shares a much better light on Team Ninja than the way this article is written. But yeah, and you do make a really good point. You don't see a lot of devs coming out and at least apologizing. And like you'll have some that will go like radio silent, or some that won't even address the situation and say it's not a problem, or that the community is wrong or doesn't know what's good for the game or shit like that. But they came out, Team Ninja,
Blizzard,
or Act Blizzard, because Blizzard is not what they once were, and we all know that now. They are now Act Blizzard. They
have a parasite that is feeding off of them.
Yeah, it's fucking all the IPs. But it is nice that there's a lot of PR talk in it, but it's still a straight up acknowledgement that they failed in what they were trying to do, and they addressed the issue itself. So they're talking about the hair color and that it was a misstep, unlike Blizzard, who will do something stupid and not even address the problem. They'll just say we screwed up and we'll do better next time. But this is a good apology. Hopefully they are able to regain the trust of their fan base and find a solution to this. I mean, just take it out. Like, I don't know why you have to put that. Devs will go through so many hoops to make buying shit as confusing as fucking possible in their games instead of just having a price tag on everything. Release outfits, make the hair colors at least free or some shit. If you want to apologize, release outfits. Don't make you like. I hate virtual currencies. They confuse the value of stuff. They confuse people that may be trying to buy stuff, and they're always packaged in a way that gives you more than you need, so you feel like you need to spend more, kind of thing, right? So say you have a pack, it's like it's worth $10, but you have to buy like a $12 or $15 pack to have enough to access that, because you can't buy like a smaller pack, you won't have enough. So you have to buy the bigger pack, or you buy the smaller pack twice, I guess. And you'll always have leftover. There's always leftover because it keeps you in the store looking for new shit. It's all very predatory. And it's a problem outside of just a la carte. Like, boom, this shit is $10. You put $10 on your card, or you charge $10 to your card, you get this outfit. Whatever. No bullshit with virtual currency. Every game does it. And we've taken good strides moving away from loot boxes. So we're not gambling for our cosmetics anymore. At least they're a la carte now. For the most part, gaming or these companies are understanding we prefer it a la carte and not having to gamble for cosmetics. But on top of that, like, I like the step we're going, but I think we can still do more. And I know we're asking for a lot here. Well, not really from game devs. I mean, they just got to not do this. But this is like the next predatory practice that needs to be dealt with. And then eventually we'll address like FOMO and shit like that, which Fortnite's really bad about, and battle passes are bad about. But like there's still a lot of predatory practice when it comes to monetization methods for video games. And you can see predatory practice in monetization for anything. Like, and we've talked about that before, so we won't go too deep into it. But seeing that people are being more in tune with the shit they're getting fucked on, right? They're not just taking in the ass and not saying anything about it. People are more willing to step up and talk against dumb shit like this. And with the way the internet is, not only is it bad for the people that do play your shit, it serves as a deterrent for people that don't, because they'll hear about it. Just being in the gaming news, and you'll hear about it. And you're like, well, fuck, nah, I don't want to play that shit. I don't want to touch that developer now. This is all this stupid stuff they've done. So it's bad PR outside their player base. It's bad PR inside their player base. So, and addressing this is good. Hopefully they can regain trust, and hopefully companies will just serve as another mark showing, hey, if we're going to do something fucking stupid, we may have to suffer some consequences for it. So let's try and not do something fucking stupid today. And then we'll all work towards a better environment for everybody in the end, hopefully. But I like it. I was pissed off with Team Ninja. I'm glad that they apologized for it. I'm glad that they're trying to show that they're sorry. Hopefully they will act on that and they won't just leave everyone in the dust. We'll see what happens. And I'm sure this story will update as we go. But do you guys have anything else that you want to add? I know I talk a lot. I'm sorry. It's good for a podcast, but I end up saying a lot of shit that you guys are probably thinking about, and you don't want to repeat what I say. But if there's anything you wanted to add new,
not much I can add new to it. It's just I think that it's either companies are like either ignorant of what other companies have done, and they're just doing these actions without thinking, or they are just so focused on monetization and having revenue that they forget that, oh, this company did this before and they had a terrible fallout. So I just don't understand what their mindset is. Like, are they purposely ignoring what other companies have done, or are they just oblivious to it? Like completely oblivious to it. You know?
I think it might be a combination of a bunch of different things. Like, it could be pride. Like, they're like, oh no, our fan base won't care about this. We can milk them a little bit more, because there are fan bases that do get milked to shit and don't care. So they'll see, like, this all started because it was like loot boxes, a bad idea, but they all started because they worked initially and people didn't, and they didn't get immediate backlash. The stuff that works is when they immediately start taking hits to their wallet. And we don't have to get the fucking government involved to stop shit like this, which is what's happening with loot boxes, because people just let it go for so fucking long and just didn't care. But now that people are more perceptive to this shit and these more predatory attempts at monetization, if we stop them now early, it won't have to get to the point where they're so involved with everything that the government has to fucking come in and tell people what to do. That's where we failed with loot boxes. They went on for too long. We failed as a gaming community, or at least the people that played those games, because not everyone was aware of it, obviously, because we let it go on to the point where it had to be regulated by the government. And it's easy to have the government take away freedoms. It's very hard to get those back, which we've discussed here before. Yep. So that's where we failed as a gaming community, is that it went on for that long. And we all somewhat bear responsibility for that, for the government having to step in for that shit. So, but this is good. I'm glad that people stood up about this. I'm glad the PR got out about this. I'm glad that people talked about it and they saw their wrongdoings and turned a leaf, kind of. Again, hopefully they take action on it. Shawn, you have anything?
No, I think you pretty well covered it.
Yeah.
Although I did think that it'd be nice if there was an organization out there that was not the government that had a website specifically designed around calling out, both in a positive and negative side, game developers for doing like making strides in consumer friendliness, or predatory practices, like just did a giant highlighting job and look at what they're doing here. Let me give you an example of how this other thing is better. That attracted a lot of attention, like on Metacritic, but specifically for consumer practices.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
And ranked game releases by how they're behaving, but that rank can change. Like Metacritic doesn't go back and alter their shit. So when Metacritic releases, once all the initial reviews are out for something, the Metacritic shit usually locks in, as far as I know.
Well, yeah, as long as it's the critic score, the user score will shift no matter what. So maybe something like that where there isn't like a critic score, but just all user score.
Yeah, like it's completely based. Well, because it's consumer based.
Yeah.
So you sit there and highlight like this game started this way. Now they've added this other shit, and it's just it's not good. But
kind of like the Better Business Bureau. They're the ones who like rate businesses and give them a rating, and then like a lot of people like they'll observe a commercial saying, "Hey, we're endorsed by the Better Business Bureau," which means they are legitimate. They're I think with them they're about consumer satisfaction, ethics, and some other things about being in business. So kind of like have the Better Games Bureau or something to that degree, because I don't think they're not a government. They're not a government.
On a title by title basis.
Yeah. You'd have to.
I mean, EA sometimes does release a really great game that's got solid support and isn't predatory. Rarely, but I'm sure it can happen.
Yeah.
Activision.
Yeah. I mean, you get a blue moon every once in a while. Yeah.
And Ubisoft still releases stuff that isn't completely full of dick. So you'd have to do it title by title and not by company.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's an excellent idea, though. And this is hell.
We should add that when we make a Thought Patrol website. We should just have a whole wing that just does nothing with that. But that require a lot of research.
I'm sure there's a Reddit or something. There's got to be something dedicated to that cause that exists.
You need more than just a Reddit, though.
Well,
Reddit is gaining a remarkably negative reputation in some cases. This has to be clean of that.
Yeah.